Not that we have loved God, but that he loves us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sin. 1 John 4:10. Jesus died to absorb the wrath of God. Sin personally violates God every time. Every time we lie, lash out in anger, think cruel thoughts about another person, it cuts God deeply. We deserve punishment just for the cruelty we show to other humans. How much more punishment do we deserve for the cruelty that we show to the God that formed us so gently with his hands? If God were not just, there would be no wrath. He would weakly allow our sin to keep cutting him until there was nothing left. And if God were not loving, he would have destroyed humanity long ago. Because God is just, he owns dignity and righteous anger. Sin must be atoned for, and we all deserve horrible deaths and eternal loneliness. Because God is just, his wrath is abundant and cannot be withdrawn. God's wrath must be spent. Because God is love, he took our punishment for us. He sent his Son down to our level to suffer and die because of what we have done. If God were not just, there would be no need for his Son to come and suffer and die. And if God were not loving, there would be no willingness for his Son to come and suffer and die. But God didn't want us to suffer under his justice. So he sent his Son, who came so willingly, to be one of his own fragile creations. He came in the form of a human, suffered splinters, blisters, headaches, hunger, temptation, betrayal by a friend, misunderstanding, hatred, beatings, death. God died. The most perfect and most beautiful allowed his rogue children to kill him. And he did so because he had great joy set before him, because God is love and someone had to die for our sins. The wages of sin is death, and the soul that sins shall die. Jesus did nothing wrong, but he allowed the Father to release all of his wrath onto him so that we do not have to suffer the way that he did. God's wrath was spent and we were spared. We never even had to ask.